Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a story that's both fascinating and heartbreaking. Inside Argentina's financial meltdown. And why, for many, it feels like it's not over yet. You've probably seen the headlines: empty ATMs, protests in the streets, and inflation charts that look like rocket launches. Argentina was once one of the richest nations on Earth, a land of immense promise, but now it's facing triple-digit inflation, making daily life a constant challenge. What on earth went wrong? This isn't just a story about one country, it's a global lesson. We'll explore why its financial struggles matter to institutions like the IMF, how upcoming elections could shape its future, and the heavy burden of debt it carries. Get ready, because this is a truly wild ride through history, economics, and human resilience. Now, let's cast our minds back to the early 20th century. Imagine a vibrant, thriving Argentina. This was a nation experiencing a true golden age. With its booming agriculture, especially beef and grain exports, Argentina boasted one of the highest living standards in the world. It was famously dubbed the Paris of South America. Grand boulevards, exquisite architecture, a sophisticated culture that rivaled Europe's finest cities. Prosperity was everywhere. But even in this dazzling era, tiny cracks were forming. Early policy decisions, often fueled by a desire to rapidly industrialize or expand social programs without a solid financial foundation, were planting the seeds for long-term instability. It was a time of immense potential, but also where the very first threads of future challenges were subtly woven into the national fabric. Fast forward a bit, and we see Argentina caught in what can only be described as a relentless cycle of boom and bust. This pattern has played out repeatedly throughout its history. It often starts with populist governments making big promises, leading to excessive spending that just isn't sustainable. When the money runs out, the usual fix is to print more, which inevitably leads to inflation, currency devaluations, and before you know it, foreign debt starts piling up. The Argentine peso, once a symbol of national pride, has seen its value erode dramatically over the decades, going from stability to collapse multiple times. It's a recurring nightmare for its citizens, who've watched their savings diminish again and again. This isn't just about numbers. It's about people losing faith in their financial system and the constant uncertainty that permeates everyday life. Perhaps the most dramatic recent chapter in this saga was the 2001 meltdown. It was an absolute crisis. Banks froze people's savings overnight. Imagine waking up to find you can't access your own money. The streets erupted in protests, leading to widespread riots and a complete breakdown of trust. The government defaulted on its massive foreign debt, sending shockwaves across the global financial markets. The impact on ordinary Argentinians was devastating. Savings that had taken a lifetime to build were wiped out in an instant. This event wasn't just a financial disaster, it was a psychological scar. It deeply shaped the nation's profound distrust in banks, its own government, and even foreign lenders, creating a generation of people who look for ways to protect their hard-earned money outside the traditional financial system. And speaking of distrust, let's talk about how inflation became not just a problem, but a permanent crushing part of daily life. For many Argentinians, pricing items hourly isn't an exaggeration. It's a real strategy to keep up with spiraling costs. Imagine going to the grocery store and the price of milk literally changing between the time you pick it up and when you get to the checkout. It's a surreal and exhausting reality. The US dollar isn't just a foreign currency, it's practically the unofficial currency for big purchases, a safe haven from the peso's volatility. Governments have tried everything to rein it in. Subsidies, price freezes, currency controls, but these often just create bigger problems down the line, distorting markets and leading to shortages. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline, and the frustration for everyday people is immense. This ongoing struggle often brings us back to the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. Argentina has received billions in IMF loans, making it one of the IMF's largest borrowers, yet long-term stability remains elusive. So why does Argentina keep turning back to the IMF, despite public anger and the often harsh austerity measures that come with these loans? It's often a desperate last resort when other options have run out. But it creates a vicious cycle. Borrow, implement painful reforms, default or struggle, then borrow again. It's a tough situation for everyone involved, leaving many Argentinians feeling trapped in a financial labyrinth, constantly looking for a way out, but finding the path blocked by accumulated debt and a seemingly endless loop of economic challenges. Now, let's talk about the present. The political landscape in Argentina has recently seen the dramatic rise of Javier Milei, famously dubbed the Chainsaw President for his radical proposals to cut government spending. He's an outsider, a libertarian economist who has promised to completely overhaul the economy, even floating ideas like full dollarization to combat inflation. His radical reforms, naturally, have sparked significant public backlash and debate. The big question on everyone's mind is, can these extreme measures actually fix Argentina's deep-seated economic issues, or could they in fact make things even worse for a population already struggling? It's a high-stakes gamble, and the world is watching closely to see if his bold approach can finally break the cycle, or if it will simply add another chapter to Argentina's complex financial history. Beyond the numbers and policies, there's a profound human cost to all this instability. We're seeing rising poverty, stubbornly high unemployment, and a once vibrant middle class shrinking day by day. This constant uncertainty is forcing many young Argentinians to make an incredibly difficult choice: leave their homeland in search of stability and opportunity elsewhere. Imagine the heartbreak of families struggling to afford basic essentials, where food and rent become luxuries rather than certainties. These are not just statistics. These are real people, real families, facing immense challenges with incredible resilience. Their stories highlight the deep personal impact of these economic cycles and the incredible strength it takes to navigate such unpredictable times. So, as we wrap up our journey through Argentina's financial history, it's clear this crisis isn't just about one nation. It serves as a powerful warning for developing countries everywhere. The consequences of unchecked spending, repeated defaults, and a loss of public trust are profound. Argentina's story isn't over. It's a living testament to resilience and the ongoing search for stability. But history shows us a clear lesson. Unless real, lasting change comes, change that addresses the root causes of instability and builds a foundation of trust, the cycle of boom and bust will, regrettably, continue. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredibly important and insightful dive into Argentina's economic challenges. If you found this video thought-provoking, please hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dive. Your support means the world, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.